Hey everybody, it's good to see you all again. This segment is just to kind of let you guys know what is going on in this episode. So, in this episode, there is a situation. Towards the end, or anywhere in this episode, there is a blank. That means there's no sound coming in the episode, and you might think that is your fault. That is my fault. You can blame me, say it was my fault, because that is editing problem, and that's because of recording and the recording platform that I use. If that happens to be in the episode, if that's in it, what you need to do is to just disregard it. Don't worry about it. Consider it like an ad break. Consider it like a break. Consider it like we're taking a 5 minute break. Consider it like that. So no freaking out. No need to worry. Make sure you guys enjoy the episode. Enjoy what's in it, and y'all have a good one. And enjoy this one. Really enjoy it and have fun. And please disregard the blanks in there. Consider them breaks. Hope you guys enjoy this episode, and thank you guys for understanding and for your cooperation. Thanks, Greg. Hey, everybody. Right now is a wonderful Tuesday night. Right, I'm missing my days up. It's a wonderful Tuesday night, and summer is approaching. So my biggest tip is to get a budget going because summer is really expensive. Trust me, if you live here in Texas, you guys will know. Anyway, swerving from that, this is a very special episode because our guest tonight is a fresh artist. He just put out his debut single, and tonight you all will get to hear a side of him. And this is his first time here, so I'm so happy that this is the first place that he stops by at. And because we're gonna have really fun with this, and because the name that I'm about to try to attempt to say, really, I have a difficult time with this, so forgive me. Stop laughing, and he's laughing because before I tried to say it, on his name is Dacheech.
There you go. See, you got it.
I did it. Oh,
Yeah,
look at
see, you
me.
got it.
He's being sarcastic. Did you guys hear the sarcasm too? Yeah, I got you. But thanks. Dacheech, awesome. So welcome to your first ever podcast interview. I am so blessed to have you on for the very first time. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate you for having me on here. And it's crazy, like, just how small, the world really is, just from like everyone that you can meet and socialize, like just through social media. And shout out to Shroom T, for being the referral for you. So definitely appreciate all that.
100%, 100%. And major props against Shroom T. They referred me to a lot of artists, so let's let you guys thank you. Thank you so much. Now let's jump into everything because we got so much to talk about. So let's start with the obvious thing that your biggest accomplishment is releasing your debut single. Now, I know it was a couple months ago, but I figured that we talk about it a little bit because I know you haven't had much of a platform to talk about it on. So now you have that opportunity to dive deep into. So this is your first single. It's the only song you have right now, called Race. So I want to kind of get into the song a little bit. So how did the song come to be? What was the whole process of making it, and how do you feel now that you have made this debut single and being in this industry?
So, kind of going back a little before I even thought about making that song, it all kind of stemmed out from the people that I knew, and growing up and just moving around to all these different states. I was able to just meet and connect with a lot of these artists and a lot of these underground people because that's always what I really gravitated towards. A lot of the underground and just, I wanted to be surrounded by artists and, creative minds. And, me, myself personally, I was never that, creative person. I was never the one, making beats or doing all this or that, but I did like just being surrounded by, those type of people. So with that being said, kind of later on throughout the years, I was, doing my thing with my relationship that I had at the time. And, as things were falling out with me and, that other person, I started really hanging out with one of my buddies. Shout out to Alt Babe, who was the person that kind of really introduced me to music. And, I connected with him more as a friend at first. He was definitely like helping me get through, like kind of the rough emotional times. And, I noticed that he was in a band and he started making music and, producing and, singing and all that. So that was really like the thing that kind of took my mind off of things, at the time. And so, one day, I was, we were just kind of hanging out. We were just rolling up a little bit and, just chilling. And, I was like, hey, man, like, I started getting into the music thing. I was like, how did you start learning? What was the process for you? What do you need to do to like make a song and release it? And he was just showing me all these things and we were just fucking around. We made like a beat in like 10-15 minutes, and then I was with my other homie there too. And we were just freestyling, we are just kicking it with the homies, because I would always freestyle back in the day too, just for fun. But nothing ever serious or whatnot. But so I freestyled on that beat. And you know I was never planning on posting it whatsoever. I never thought to, become an artist or whatever. That was never really like my thing, at the time. And he was just like, bro, you gotta drop this shit. You gotta drop it, And I was like, nah, man, like, what? Come on. He's like, if you don't drop it, I'm gonna create an account and drop it for you. And I was like, ah. So, I had like eight followers on SoundCloud. So I was just like, fuck it. I'll just post it on SoundCloud, and, that way, no one really sees it. I didn't want like really like any exposure on it whatsoever. And so I dropped it and, just kind of didn't pay any mind to it, pay no attention, whatever. And, like a couple weeks goes by and he was like, hey man, like, bro, you see that shit? And I was like, nah, what are you talking about? I looked at the views and it was like, I think like 1,500 or, like 2,000 in like a week or something. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I did not, this was kind of like the opposite of what I wanted. And, as the time goes on, just slowly growing and growing and everything. And, so that was kind of, the stem of it. It was just basically just a freestyle about, the breakup that I was going through. And, it wasn't like anything planned out at all. It was just kind of just on the spot.
Oh wow! So this was a it was fate. Come on, it was fate. Obviously, fate came in and put the energy into your friends to push you to be an artist. I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, but thank God they did though.
Yeah, that's, I really like to think of that too, because like I said, it's a small circle, like a very small world. It's crazy, how things turn out. Who you run into, who you met. It's just a very small world. So it all kind of just played out. It's just playing its part.
Oh, definitely, definitely, for sure. And it's crazy. Now I'm not gonna ask her and see how they found you. So, did they do the same thing I did? Like message you randomly, or like were you guys like friends, or like how'd you meet Shroom T anyway? Like how'd y'all?
So I met Shroom T because I did a feature for this one dude out of DC, and he ended up putting the song like through their reviews or something, like what they do, like their like YouTube reviews and all that, and their Twitch streams. And and then I was like, man, it's cool. I ended up seeing like, what they were saying and all that. And, I just thought they were good, energy and, very funny people. So I ended up reaching out after I saw that. And I was like, hey, if you want to check some of these out, check this out. And then ever since then, they've just been like super supportive, super cool, so super dope people, man. Definitely respect them, what they have going on.
100%. And you were on the review show very recently, so how do you feel now that you got reviewed on your single and getting the feedback and all that? Like, how do you feel, after, being on that review show?
It was definitely a little bit more motivating just because like, the main reason why I didn't really want to be like an artist at the time was because like I didn't really need the eyes on me. Like that was never something that I wanted. I'm a very kind of low key person. So like I was very, like kind of not self-conscious in a way, but very like, just shy with it. So just seeing like all the feedback that the people were giving and all like, the props I was getting for it, it definitely was a little bit more of like a motivation thing.
Oh. Well, I'm so glad you took it in a more positive, look. I've had experiences where people got reviewed and they get upset, they get mad and angry, like they really cannot take feedback well. But I'm really glad that you're taking a more mature view when it comes to feedback and reviews. Like that really, that confirms to me like you're gonna have a very prosperous career and future ahead of you. So very much respect to that.
I appreciate that. And it's really like, like I already knew from the get-go, like the lane that I was in. And like I already knew like off rip that some people aren't going to vibe with it. It's not going to be a head nod for everyone, and it's just it is what it is, and that's how music is though. It's just like there's going to be people that fuck with it, and then there's going to be people that don't fuck with it. So it's like who really cares in regards of all that. But it was just like more so the attention aspect, like
Definitely, definitely, 100% valid points. And what I wanted to also touch base on, and this is very rare to find. You start your debut and you already have a manager. Now, to be honest, I thought I had to go message him about this. See, y'all, let me kind of elaborate. Usually, when someone puts a manager in their Instagram bios, that means they want you to message their managers, for whatever, and they don't manage their own page. But this guy actually responded to me, himself responding. But anyway, um, I want.
so yeah, my manager is like I knew this man since like middle school, so it like I said, it's just a small world. So it really just all kind of just worked out. And like he's very hands-on with my management too, but I like to also be like hands-on myself because I like seeing that type of stuff. Like, I like, the outreach. I like what people message me and all that. So like I like being like just as active as he is too.
Oh. Well, major props on that. It's crazy. It's like these people magically came into your life and you know that. I mean, you knew this guy since middle school. Like that's insane that y'all still kept in touch and all that. Like that is beyond crazy.
Yeah, like he was like one of my best friends growing up in middle school. Met him in DC in the DMV area, grew up together, and he actually at the time, was like the artist. He was, the creative one. He was the one like making music, hosting shows in like middle school and high school. He was the one doing all this, and like I said, I just like being around like creative people. But it was funny because at the time, no one really like fucked with us. Like no one really liked us or like, supported us or what we were doing, even though I wasn't doing anything. I was just there for him. And no one was really like fucking with us. So that's like kind of how we got our bond, growing up. And like I got kicked out of the house. I would live with him, vice versa. So he was like a brother to me, and like, I don't really, call people family, but he's definitely like, the closest thing I have to a brother and everything. So just growing up, he kind of took his own route, after, middle school and high school. I ended up like moving to Florida and all that. And so he went off, did his own thing, grew his social media, started becoming A&Rs for record labels and all that. And, even now and then, like during that time span, I would hit him up like maybe once or twice a year just to check in, see what's good and all that. So it was like we weren't really like close, but we always had that bond, that like best friends kind of really have. And like a month or two after I dropped the song Grace, I hit him up and I was like, "Hey man, this is what happened, in this year so far, and without hesitating, he said like, I'm gonna take care of you. He's like, you're my artist now. I'm gonna manage you. And he doesn't really even manage like a lot of artists. If anything, he manages mostly producers right now and just handles a lot of PR. So doesn't really handle too many artists, which is pretty cool. So, he's definitely, hooking me up and everything and looking out for me and just like pointing me in the right direction and giving me his like, honest feedback and opinions, which, is just something, I definitely need, especially like starting off right now.
Definitely, definitely. I feel like you're in the prime of your life because you're getting all this exposure, so early on. That really shows a lot. Definitely now and in the long run. So, um, that's really great though that you have all these amazing connections and you know, even now you're starting off and you already have over 1,000 followers. I mean, come on. You obviously those are bots, right? Come on, you can tell us. Although they're bots, right? On
Wait, what?
Instagram, the followers. I think like you can tell us they're bots, right?
No, so actually, the way that we grow Instagram, it's through other Instagram accounts. So if you like notice the people I follow, everyone I follow follows me back. So it's been growth from either blogs, it's been growth from like PR, it's either been growth from other big accounts reposting me, and then just like all that. So my manager, Garrett, is the one who started growing me within like a month after I reached out for him.
Oh wow, that's a very solid strategy actually. And I was joking about the bots thing, but that's a really
Oh no. No, I get that all the time. Yeah, so and it's also promoted through TikTok too. That's like another big thing that we've been like growing through, like a lot of like TikToks with like the account and everything. And it's a lot of people from TikTok.
that is.
It's crazy. Like the social media growth is like ridiculous. And it's like I never like knew that side to everything. And like thank God, like, I have like my manager and everything who like knows, like the right people for growth and all that. And it's like it's a whole nother game.
It is most definitely for sure, and it's extremely mature that you guys are figuring out these methods. Because once you start putting out more music, the same way that you promote and get followers on that, it's the same thing that you could do when you're putting out even more projects or albums or EPs in the future. Like you're already nailing these different aspects that some artists it takes decades, it takes years to master. So it's
Exactly. And like I just got to give it all to Versatile, my manager who's like he's literally done it all for me, just he pointed in the direction. He said do these steps, and I'm just listening to him. And it's been working out pretty well.
definitely, definitely, for sure. I should be mad jealous right now, but it's an interview and I'd rather not tip any audiences off, so I'm gonna keep my comments to myself. But anyway, back to serious mode. Speaking of the albums and EPs, what are you planning on doing? Because you already have one song out. So what are you planning on doing? Because along with race, along with that, which of course, everybody is gonna love because I do. um, I know that you also have unreleased music, you know, and we'll actually get to hear a whole set. Actually, you guys will get a chance to actually hear the set, or at least I'm gonna try and get the set to actually play, because the list he sent me was private. But anyway, are you planning on releasing anything else, or are you taking a break, or what are you planning on doing? Right now in.
Yeah, so as of right now, I have like I would say a good like 10 songs that could be, like a project to release. I would say like 5 or 6 of them are probably like, ready to go. But during this time, what I've been doing was just constant Instagram growth, trying to do promotions and all that. And then I actually started socializing and becoming pretty decent friends with a couple of Mac Miller's producers, Big Germ, who's was Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa's big producers that they were using. So once I started getting in contact with them and started like working with a couple of them, I just kind of been focalizing on that, and I'm just kind of waiting till I finish a lot of that before I start releasing, just so I can kind of not have to work on too many projects this year, so I can just release a bunch, let them trickle down.
Very interesting approach. Very interesting. All right. I definitely rock with that, and it makes sense what you're doing. It makes a lot of sense actually. So that does make sense to me. So, but yeah, we are looking forward to hearing more music from you. I definitely do. And you guys, I just realized I just looked at his streams again. 4,323 plays on your debut single. I mean, that's good for that's really good for a start. Like, do you like just imagine, what these other songs could be. Like, have you wrapped your head around what future this could be? Like, do you realize that you're nailing stuff right down? Like if you keep this up, and I know you will, you could even be on the Billboard charts. And please tell me when you're on the Billboard charts. Send me a screenshot because I've actually have never. I've only had like one or two guests in my whole 3 years since I've ever been on the Billboard charts. I will cry my eyes out if you make it on the charts. And
That's definitely like, on the list of something that I was it's kind of just crazy, like, when it first all started like happening, because like, like Mac Miller and like that whole type of, genre was like my biggest like inspiration and all that. So like just after dropping that and then being able to work with like Mac Miller's main producer, like and best friend, like it was just like that's when it like really like kind of hit me. It was just like what. And then that's when I was like, okay, like maybe if I, put my head into this a little bit more, it could definitely work out. So
definitely now. Let me. Whoa, hold on. Let me back up a few seconds. You said Max Mill's producer. Let's take a step back and let's talk about that a little bit. You said you work with his producers. I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that because Mac Mill's producers. I mean, Mac Mill is he's a really good rapper, and I'm gonna need some elaboration. So spill the beans.
So yeah, no, that was like crazy because like I was just saying, Mac Miller was like one of my all-time favorite artists. Like, so that's where I got a lot of my inspiration from. And, like after I dropped the song Race, I got a lot of feedback saying like, oh, it reminds me of Mac Miller, that type of vibe. And then, like a couple of my other homies and like another producer of mine, he was just like, bro, it'd be crazy, if like Big Germ hit you up, some shit like that. And literally like 2 to 3 days later, I looked at Instagram and I saw that Big Jerm followed me. I was like, what the fuck? Like I couldn't believe it. I thought it was like a fake account at first. And like Big Jerm like produced like Best Day Ever, like Frick Park Market, like all that, like crazy, 2012, kind of stoner music era music, and so it was just all like very crazy and wild to me. And I reached out to him and I sent him over like some tracks and shit, and he's like, "Yo, bro, I fuck with this." So I was like, "All right, cool. Let's like hop up on a call one day, chop it up." And like we just chopped it up the first call, just kind of wanted to see, if we could just kind of like, be cool, because that's like, I'm you can't really like work with someone if you're not really like cool with them, in my opinion. If you can't really vibe with someone, I feel like it's gonna definitely be like a creative block. And no matter how much I wanted to like be cool with him and shit, it was just like it is what it is. So we just chopped it up, and he was a cool dude, and he definitely was fucking with me heavy. And I can tell like he doesn't really work with underground artists. He doesn't really do all that shit. He's working still with Wiz Khalifa and like Wiz Khalifa's artist and all that. So I was definitely very like appreciative that he was like just giving me at least like some sort of time of day. So after the phone call, whatever, we were still in contact. Still just chopping it up here and there, and then you know he hit me up with a couple beats, and I was like, yo, I fuck with this beat. And he ended up giving me the beat. So, now I'm in the process of, just writing a song to this one beat, and he's actually going to mix, master, engineer it, do all that. And then once all that is done, we're going to definitely like run some promotion around it, do some press around it too, as well. So that's kind of like when like I'm going to start kind of having that rollout, just me releasing songs. And then one of Mac Miller's other DJ, I ended up meeting him at some concert out in Tampa. And he's a cool dude, DJ Afterthought. He does like EDM music now and everything. One of like Mac Miller's like old best friend. And so I was just chopping it up with him too. And I was just like, man, this is like crazy. Like one of my favorite like artists that like I grew up listening to. Like I'm like kind of like starting to like work with all of them now, and I'm like, it was just like I said, it's just crazy how things just all played out.
It is. It's insane. Like, like I'm probably gonna ask you to follow me and follow the Instagram later, but I'm not gonna say it now. But that is absolutely
I'll follow you. I'll follow
is
you.
that is crazy. Like, I don't think I haven't met an artist as popular as you in a very long time. And to have this in your day, I
I
mean,
appreciate
of
that.
course, like, I definitely gotta thank Shroom Tea again and again. I gotta keep thanking them because, oh my god, I actually got artists that work with Max Miller producers. Like, that's a huge deal. Oh, sorry.
I know, and it's still like kind of just like it's still just like in like awe for me, like because like it was just crazy that 2 days before he followed me and everything. Like my homie was like, "What if Big Germ hit you up?" And it was just like after that happened, I was like, "Man, life is not real." Like like it really is what you make of it. And if you just kind of just manifest and like I don't know, some people believe in that shit, but like honestly, that shit works.
Definitely 100%. And I am beyond excited for what's else in store. So major props. But anyway, we can sit here all day and talk about how successful you are, but we're talking more than just success. So I wanna know morely into your music. Now I know you just released a song. I know you just released one song right now that you have on right now in your catalog. But I really want to know. And I know this is going to tie in a little bit from earlier, but I really want to know what is your whole process whenever you're making a song? What is your whole creative process whenever it comes to songwriting and producing and putting the whole song together. What is that whole process like for you?
So really it all like starts off with like what beat like I'm like kind of in the mood for because like I've been like freestyling since like middle school and high school. So normally what I do is whatever beat that I kind of vibe with, I usually just freestyle most of it. And then, I just kind of chop it up and then freestyle and then chop it up and then freestyle. And then that's kind of really what it is, mostly freestyle. Sometimes I'll have to, sit and, write a couple bars, as like fillers and all that. But for the most part, everything usually just comes like, from the head. And, what I'll do is, I'll just kind of lay it down real quick and then, write it down. And then like, if it's good, I'll write it down. But yeah, no, mostly just straight like freestyles. And it really what it all stems from too, like what my main topics are and usually what kind of gives me that, kind of that flow and rhythm is usually it stems out from love, drugs, and just like the emotions that I feel from those two
Oh,
things.
wow. Such a unique approach. But yeah, well, apparently the method works for you, because obviously you made such a hit single. But I love how you take a personal switch on, a personal take on the whole process of making music, on making music. And I definitely want to also get into the challenges. I know I know you just put on music. But I mean, generally, whenever you're making, music, or at least, in your, experience, what has been like the biggest challenge, that you, or the biggest struggle that you've gone through, at least, you know, that.
Mm, I would say the biggest struggle is honestly just kind of finding time, kind of for everything. Just because, everyone's got shit going on, especially in their life, outside of whatever they, want to pursue and all that. So I feel like, the biggest like struggle and, setback is just like finding just like time to do all that, you know, dealing with like family, dealing with work, and just like, maintaining a social balance, and doing that, making sure that you're, healthy and, mentally and physically, it was just all about finding time, I feel like.
Definitely. And I think time's a huge factor when it comes to, when it comes to everything music, because time's really a sensitive, factor when it comes to really anything, music wise. Time's really one of those things that we just gotta really be careful for and really consider whenever, we're talking about the concept, or just, when we have, time when we're like planning. That's really something, you know, it's really we have to take into consideration. So to for you, actually, I haven't heard time in a very while. You're probably one of the few artists that generally say time. Everyone always says like one of their biggest struggles, like I've done a lot of things, like is producing or writing or planning or social media. But the fact that you said time, I mean, that hit the spot, because that's a really big issue for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't say it, I guess, because they're embarrassed, or they don't think it's that big of a deal. So, for you to admit that, like, that's huge. So,
Yeah, man. Like, I feel like, time is honestly one of the like most valuable things we have. And, it's just like if you're fortunate enough to be able to work on your craft for whatever full time, not being able to work, then like props to you. I feel like that's like making it, But other than that, if you got to grind and hustle to work for your craft, then like time is the most important factor out of all that,
definitely, definitely, 100%. And I also appreciate your honesty very much. Honesty, I'm brutally honest with people, so that's why my friends are very sacred. But I do really appreciate you being honest and very clear with me. I really appreciate it. I try to make the environment very calming, so for you to just jump in and just be honest with me, you know that means I did a good job, or you must be naturally calming.
No, I'm just kind of like an open book, like I really have, like, you know, just be straight up. I'm just, trying
Definitely,
to be real.
definitely, 100%. Now let's talk about the name because before you guys, I told you in the beginning that I could not pronounce his name. So now it's time for you to share your little story on how you got your artist name.
Yeah, so my last name is Dakira, and it's spelled Dechiara. And growing up in middle school and high school, no one could say my name. They'd look at it and be like, "The fuck is this?" So they would just give me nicknames, because of my last name. So I had Decheerio, Dacheechy, Dachief, Dacheech, and out of all of them, Dacheech was kind of like the one that stuck out with everyone. I would have teachers call me Dacheech in high school and shit. So it was just kind of like what I was just known as, in high school. And so when I made the song Race, he's like, "What do you want your artist name to be?" I was like, "Fuck, I just keep the Cheech, I guess." And it just kind of stuck. It just kind of stuck.
Well, I definitely love the name, to be honest, and to be real with you, it is a very unique name. I've never heard anything like it, and I've heard weirder names. So, um,
Right? Like I feel like it's like, pretty subtle, but it's kind of interesting. I don't know, it might still be a work in progress, but as of right now, I'm just gonna stick with
no,
my
no.
high school nickname,
To be
the
honest, your
Cheech.
name just is it takes a lot of time to get used to. But honestly, I don't really mind it at all. To be honest with you, and I think you really should keep it. It really suits you, to be honest. Yes.
It's got a good look to it, right?
Definitely, like, and it's unique too. Like, I know that if I didn't know what you look like, and if I went to your hometown or wherever you live at, and I were to like look at you and be like, "That's Cheech," like that's him. Like, I would know who you are. But again, I don't know where you live at, but you get it. Which that be actually, where do you live at?
So right now I am based out of Florida. I live in Sarasota, Florida. And then I was born in Virginia, lived in DC, lived in California for a little bit, and then yeah, now I am down here in Florida, which I've been liking it. It's pretty chill out here, which is kind of what I was
Awesome,
looking for.
Florida. I have not been to Florida since 2015 or 2014. It has been a very long time. I really should vacation down there someday, cause I really should. I'm in Texas, so I'm only like a couple hours away. So
Oh no, yeah, my friend is actually in Texas right now. She's she's coming back into town tomorrow, but I haven't been to Texas yet either, and I literally just
oh
told her
come
I've
on,
been
you
wanting
you
to go to
should. Let
Texas
me
for a
give you a
minute.
tour around Houston. I'm literally in H Town. Let me come down here. I'll give you a personalized tour myself.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I'll have to pop in for sure. I know a good amount of artists and producers out there too,
Yes,
so that'd be a good trip to
100%.
make.
All right, I'm locked in. I'm locked in on that. I am completely locked in. God, what was I saying? Oh, before I forget to mention, and I want to mention this to everybody, to teach. Actually, even though this is his first podcast interview, this is not the first time that he's been publicized. He has actually been featured in the Vince magazine, 24 Hip Hop, Music, and in LA Weekly. So um, I do want to talk about those different outlets because that's crazy that you were featured in those. So how did you get in touch with those different publications? And again, like how do you feel now that those publications are out? And how do those publications overall help you with your craft and your career?
So I found out about that through my manager. Once my manager told me that he was going to take me under, um, he actually had some favors from a couple publicists. So that was kind of like a gift that he did was he submitted me to a couple of these blogs and everything to see if they would, take it on for an article. And just about all of them did. So that was really cool because that was like the main goal is to get verified. So he told me, well, actually not now because now you get to fucking pay I think what like $15 a month for a badge, but before that whole $15 a month, the normal process would be you would have to have 15 to 20 articles that are Google verified sources. So that was kind of like a direction that we're taking slowly, just kind of like steps to be able to get verified naturally. And yeah, so that was like kind of like a gift from him. And then all these other he does a lot of PR for all these other artists too. And one of them ended up seeing my music and everything, and then offered to do a LA Weekly top 15 for 2023 for free, I think. And I was like, man, that's really cool. And it really does like kind of gain a lot of, good exposure, and it definitely looks good too, especially for, your Google Media like profile. So it was mostly like a gift from him,
Definitely, definitely. That's amazing. Well, much props to you. That is extraordinary that you were able to get those appearances. And again, like you said, they really do help add more credibility as an artist, and it really overall, adds and it helps you in so many ways. So, that is amazing. And you're even Googleable, guys. He's Googleable. I
exactly. And that's kind of like the main step that you kind of want to take if you're trying to get verified. But like I said, now I think you just pay $15 a month and you can get verified, which is
It is. Why do
kind
you have to
of
pay
kind of
to get
whack in my
verified?
opinion.
Even though there's millions of apps where all you do is like do a little short thing like and you get verified for it. Like, why do you have to pay for that?
E- Exactly. Exactly. I think they're just trying to, figure out a way to make money. But I still think that you could do it the route that I'm taking too, which is getting the articles done that are Google verified and then getting submitted through their portal. So I'm still taking that direction. I don't think I'm gonna pay for a
That
badge
makes
in my
sense. That's very
opinion.
understandable. Now I want to ask this, and this is a request from me, but everybody must agree that you must take more pictures. I mean, the reason
Yeah. Like I said,
oh
my
no, go ahead.
what's up? So, like I said, like how the biggest thing for me was just having the eyes on me. And, I've never been much of a picture guy myself. So, like, I never really had pictures to start off with. But once I do the rollout, I do have, a bunch of pictures, that are about to be, posted and all that. The thing was, as of right now, I was just mainly focalizing on just building connections and outreaching to like other people. So I wasn't really trying to like push my music right now. So once I do my rollout, I'm gonna start dropping music videos, pictures. I have a couple music videos done already. that are ready to go and shit. So I get it from everybody. Like my main producer like tells me all the time. My manager tells me all the time, he's like, bro, post some shit on your Instagram, post some shit. But I'm kind of just, chilling right now. I feel like, you know, everything's worked out for me prior from what I've done. So I feel like if I just keep on doing what I do, I just still work out. Like I'm not pressed about any of it.
I see, I
I'm
see.
just kind of just going with it.
And that's cool. I'm glad you're taking it step by step and saying relax for now. And speaking of for now, really, um, so what is a day in your life? Like, what kind of life is it for you? Every day.
So I still work part time. I'm a server and bartender at a restaurant. So, I still, work like 3, 4 days out of the week. Normally outside of that, I try to surround myself, with a pretty creative friend group. So, my best friends, one owns a clothing company, the other is a videographer, the other are a couple producers and engineers, a couple other artists and all that. So normally, if I'm not working, I'm usually spending time with them, just trying to make content and everything. And then just, kind of relaxing, I'm a pretty like chill guy. I don't really like to go out drinking. I just like to kind of like lay low, smoke my weed and just kind of chill. So usually we just be just kind of hanging out, working on some projects, kind of just being creative and if not that, I'm just working
Nice.
at my
Well,
restaurant.
I'm gonna put it out there that if I visit your restaurant, I need to ask this. So since I you and because I go there, I just want to be sure. Do I get a discount if I go there and you happen to be serving the night or serving the day? Like, do I get a discount? Do I get anything when I go there?
I'll,
Ooh,
I'll get you your
okay.
first round and some free
It,
dessert.
it's a recording too, so if I go there and you don't own it to your word, then I'm just gonna have to play the episode over again and be like, well, you said that on me.
No, I got you. I got you.
We'll see.
I
I'm
got
just
you.
kidding.
I got you.
I'm
I'm a man of
joking.
my word.
And another thing that I did want to ask about, and I did some reading about you, and I found out that you are half Korean, half Italian, which is crazy because those are two very diverse cultures. So tell me, and I did want to circle this back because you are starting out in this industry. Like, how do you balance your personal life with this career, and how do you feel, being half Korean, half Italian, um, you know,
Well, honestly, people don't even like when they first look at me, they don't really like they can't really tell if I'm Korean or Italian. They know I'm like something different. They're like some people think I'm like, more so on the like Hispanic side or just more so on the Italian side. So it's kind of cool being, half and half. Which is cool because my mom, I was, definitely closer with my mom's side of the family. So that was the Korean side. So I loved like, Korean food growing up, like learning the culture and all that. And, still to this day, like Korean food is like my all time, hands down favorite thing to eat. Like as a kid, like when I wouldn't like eat too much, when I would like, go like a week without eating too much, my mom would take me to a Korean restaurant and I'll rack up a bill. I'll rack up a bill out there. And like that was like, my treat, like Korean food. So it was like cool, like growing up, and like, getting that other, side, kind of learning, all that and like just being a part of that culture and like learning their disciplines and kind of understanding how like raising up with an Asian family so it was definitely cool but not too many people, really like can see it too much. It's very like a interesting look. So definitely, definitely fuck with that. I guess just got to be proud of your culture and everything and represent it. So that's kind of what I like to do. Because Koreans, the Asians and Italian, I feel like they're very family oriented. So I was definitely
Oh
raised of
wow.
that
Well,
culture. Growing up.
I definitely I do see it though. That's the thing about me. And this is something my friends will tell you. I'm very observant. So obviously, looking at your picture, I was like, yeah, obviously.
Like maybe like when you first look at me and you didn't know, maybe you'd probably be like, oh, I don't know. It's not. But then once I tell people, they're like, oh my God, yeah, no, I see it now. It's pretty cool because it's like a
Definitely,
very
definitely
unique,
for sure.
combination in
So
my
obviously,
opinion.
I need to ask this: do you speak any Korean or Italian language?
No, I tried like learning when I was younger, but second languages were like I was terrible at learning second languages. Like cuz my mom could speak it and understand it. But I'm actually first generation in my family. So my mom moved to America when she was like very young, so she like kind of adapted the, English more. So I tried learning when I was younger, but like it was just never my strong suit. I never was interested too much as a kid, and as the time goes on, it's just like it's a very hard language to learn. And I actually tried picking it up like a year and a half ago too on this one app. And same thing. I was into it for about like a week or two, and then just kind of didn't really, find the time and just kind of forgot about it. But it was, I definitely wanted to,
Ah,
but I never
I
actually
see.
did.
Well, I thought I should ask. But that's cool. That's really cool that you're first generation. That makes you even more special. So, um, that's fantastic. And the reason why the picture thing I brought up is because let's just be honest, he has a very nice face. I mean, come on, y'all. He has, and let me tell y'all, and this is, and I'm not trying to be weird or anything. He has one of those faces, with a very, very nice face. Like, if I, obviously, I know you're straight. If I was a girl, I would get up on there. I mean, that's how good his face is. Like, that's how good it is. I'm gonna be honest with you. And again, I know you're straight, so I'm not trying to get like that.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And then, yeah, that's kind of like why, like, like I kind of started understanding that because, like at first of like making music and everything, I was very like hesitant because, like I said, like earlier, if you know your crowd, you're straight. Like, if you know what genre of music, people are going to be fucking with, then you're good. You don't really have to worry. And, my biggest thing was like, oh man, I feel like not a lot of dudes will be liking my music. I feel like it's definitely, you know, so what I started doing was definitely started gravitating towards the female end, trying to attract the female crowd. And I realized that's a that's working
Definitely,
out in my
definitely,
favor a little bit more
I
now.
would agree. So, I just want you to know you better be prepared for the girls going crazy because they love a guy with a very, very hot face. So I'm just letting you know. You just got to be prepared because I should know. I've interviewed a couple people myself that, they have a very nice face and girls they love that. They go crazy over that. So I'm just warning you right now. I hope you know what's coming for you. So I'm just letting you know. Like I'm not like I wish I was kidding, but you better be prepared. Just letting you know.
It's all good. I
I mean,
think
I
I'm
hope so
ready. I'm
because those
prepared.
girls are gonna go
I'm
all over you.
prepared.
Not, they love nothing more than just stare at your face and hope they get some.
And I've noticed that too because like my thing is too like with unreleased music, I what I do before I even send it out to like my homies and everything, I send it out to like three or four different females and just to get their honest feedback. And usually it attracts more with them than, like the homies and shit. So
Mm.
definitely like kind of know
I
like the
like how
lane that I'm
you
trying to take.
ask the girls, and I like that you ask them for feedback, and you're seeing that. That's a very interesting approach. So, it's hard for me to comment because I've asked this question millions of times and I've gotten millions of responses. So, all I can really say is interesting. But honestly, that's a very valid, valid way to getting um, honest feedback. I mean, because women are honest. That's why we stay with.
That yeah, honestly, they give the best feedback in my opinion. Like, they'll be straight up. They'll be straight up. They're like, "Hey, sometimes I don't like your voice when you do." And then like, I'll send it to homie. "Oh yeah, this sounds good. This sounds pretty straight. Like I fuck with it." But like, the women like they'll go in depth with it. They'll pick it out, they'll pick out
Wow.
what they really don't
You must
like.
know a lot in the women's department. Well, I'm one of those. 'Cause I'm nitpicky. Like, I'm very like. Again, I'm brutally honest. So I'm gonna be just like that. I'm gonna pick things out that I do not like and that I do like. So I'm gonna be nitpicky. I'm just warning you. Like I'm.
Oh no, no, and that's what I look for. That's why like that's also like another reason why I haven't released a lot of music too is because like with with the way that I am like personally like how I'm very like shelled in, like I'm a very like shy guy, I guess I would say. Like I'm an introvert and extrovert. I don't know, more so introvert. And I kind of hold back a lot of my music because I try to be a perfectionist. I try to get everyone's perfect, feedback and all that. So, that's like another like flaw that I have of
Definitely,
mine
definitely.
of why I haven't released too much music because I just try to search for so much different like feedback and I'm just like,
A perfectionist.
fuck, I feel
That's
like it's not
that's
ready.
understandable. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people.
And I feel like so many artists are because what a lot of artists do too is once they make a song, they'll listen to it for a couple of days. They'll listen to it, try to get a feel for it, but then they start listening to it too much, and then they start kind of like because it's getting repetitive. They'll be like, I don't know, and then like start second guessing it, which I learned you shouldn't do. Just do it, because once you start listening to it and overthinking it, that's when it starts taking longer, and that's a flaw that
Oh,
I
I
had,
see. I
working
see.
on this process of
Definitely.
music here.
Very, very strong points. No comment. No comment to add. Except apparently, I found out that you have dirty money. So, y'all, I have heard that he has dirty money. And y'all get where I'm going with this, but he has dirty money, and I want to know where you're hiding it. Now, don't answer the question because
Hey,
because
allegedly, allegedly,
I have a
allegedly,
bit.
allegedly.
So let's find out where you're hiding it. Now I found out that you have a partner in crime that you're hiding this with, named Diesel Clockwork. Now, where are you keeping that dirty money? Where are you keeping it? Spill the beans.
It goes into what I do.
All
It
right,
goes
sorry.
into what I do.
But I just had to. I love
It
puns. I
gets
love stories.
recycled.
All right, but seriously, y'all, the reason, right? But seriously,
Allegedly, though.
the
Allegedly,
reason
though.
why I jumped into that was because Dacheech actually has a song named Dirty Money that he did do with Diesel Clockwork. That's why I used both those names. So if y'all couldn't hear me or like couldn't figure it out, that's what I did it for. So anyway, that's my next thing that I do want to talk about because according to Diesel Clockwork, he has over 3,000 monthly listens. He's a verified artist, and not to mention, he's a very long bio. So apparently, he's either a very satisfied artist or apparently AI has control of his Spotify account.
No, so I ended up meeting him when I was living in DC, and so way before he even started making music, uh me, him, and a couple other homies, we had our little friend group, and we would just freestyle every now and then. And I still have screenshots and everything to this day of him posting me on his Snapchat or Instagram story of me freestyling and shit. So I feel like that kind of gave him some sort of idea to start making music, because about like 2 years or a year and a half after I moved away from DC, that's when he started making music. And then that's when I was like, oh, cool, let me
Wow.
hop up on a song with you.
This is too ironic. You met him through a friend group, you met your manager through friends. I mean, this is too ironic. I mean, what's next? You meet a record label through friends. I mean, I mean, what's next?
Well, so my manager is very like well known in the industry. So like he definitely, knows what he's doing. Like he's put me in front of, like some pretty big people. Like I was, with Travis Barker, you know, I've been to Leonardo DiCaprio's house. I've done some pretty eventful things in LA. So he's definitely, like
It's
the reason
crazy.
being for,
Can't believe
like
that he
kind of a
went to
lot of the people I know.
Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, oh, we've got to do something. I mean, we've got to do something because that's amazing. Not even I have met Travis Parker, and I've interviewed over 100 people. So whatever you're doing, you gotta tell your manager to please like we've gotta like make a partnership or something because he's gotta get me in touch with that. Like please tell your manager to get in touch with me. I mean, please.
I could do that for you. I could do that for you. It was tough because the last time I was in LA, when my manager flew me out, man, he's got such a crazy lifestyle. Like I shit you not, like I was up for 3 days straight, like just no sleep, no nothing, just back to back to back to back moves. So like he lives a very crazy lifestyle, and like it was hard. It was hard to
Now
keep
that
up
I
with
can
him
imagine,
sometimes.
definitely,
It was so tough.
definitely the manager's life is a really long and it's a very long and hard one. But at least he's a very dedicated manager. I think it's really good to have those. Definitely, especially when you're starting out. Like I've seen a lot of musicians get managers in the very beginning, and then they break up with them as soon as things go south. So, I really love that you have. I love that you have this person that you are concrete with, and that he's giving you these opportunities and soon will be giving me up. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But but I meant what I said about it's amazing that he's giving you these opportunities because they're really well deserved. I mean, you really are a fantastic debut artist. I mean, I don't get to interview them a lot, but the ones I do, you're one of the few that I actually very much enjoy. So thank you for.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And yeah, no, like I never really even, right when I first dropped the song, when it crossed my head if I wanted to be an artist or not, I never really wanted a manager regardless, but like Versatile, like my manager, he's always been like one of my best friends. And so when he told me that he wanted to like take me, I was like, I already know there's gonna be no issues. There's no nothing. Like he asked for nothing in return. No nothing. Like he doesn't ask for any money. Normally you would have to pay money, for management, percentages, royalties. Like, he's like managing me just because like like we love each other. He's like a brother to me, and like we've been through thick and thin together. So it's just like it's just respect from both of our ends. So, and he doesn't even like have a lot of friends too, which is like I've always been really really good like backbone for him too. So I've always supported him. So it's just kind of like now it's
I'm so happy for
like
that.
he's
Honestly,
helping me out,
I'm so happy that you're getting so much love in this beginning. Like, you have no idea how excited I am for you. That's why I mentioned following and all that, because I really do want to be part of your entourage. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but entourage. Like, I cannot wait to see how this skyrockets. And honest, like, I'm being like for real honest. Everything that you've talked about. Firstly, I'm not a fanboy or anything. Like, I'm not gonna go like crazy. Oh my god, what's next? Honestly, humbly, generally, just really want to say, really congrats, and I'm just really proud of you. Honestly, I'm insanely proud, and I'm so happy
I
for you,
appreciate
and
that.
I wish nothing but the best. Honestly, I'm really excited to see where this goes, and I want to be there for every step. I want to be there for every accomplishment that you have, every single moment. I want to be there to see it. I'm gonna be like one of those moms that just like takes millions of away. So I'm gonna be one of those. Like, I'm gonna be one of those like, Sansa. I'm gonna take like a million pictures. Okay, take it.
No, I appreciate the support, and it honestly just it gives me a little bit more motivation now, just to kind of keep my head in the game. Because honestly, there's been multiple times where like I've definitely second guessed it. I'm like like even like a month or two ago, I was just like damn, like do I really want to do this? Because like straight up it in the music industry, and like kind of how the labels are, it is a very other side to it. There really is another side to it. And at one point I was just kind of like, do I really want to like kind of be in this lifestyle and whatnot, and definitely second guessing it. And so definitely nice like getting like
Definitely,
support from other
definitely,
people,
for
because now
sure.
it's just
And
like, okay,
it's
maybe I
important to get the
should.
reassurance from support. That's why it's important to have fans, because they remind you that you are important, that you are a vital part of the industry, and you should just keep going. Which I think we all need that constant reminder, that that we belong, and it's our industry. We're part of it. We're the next revolution. So I definitely would say that I would totally agree with you, and you know, um, and you can even count me as one of your fans, because I want you to always know that you're really important, that you're extremely important, and that we all wish you best in all of your endeavors.
I appreciate that. And even if like artists don't get that love and support, as long as you're doing what like, like what you actually love, like that's all that really matters too. Like for me on my end, this, like straight up becoming an artist was like never like a passion of mine, like it was never like, oh my God, I want to be a rapper growing up. It was never like that. It was just more so like by chance and things are just working out, So like I never had that like passion, that actual passion that a lot of these other artists have. So even if you don't have that like love and
Definitely,
support, like as long as you have
100%.
that passion, that's all that
Um,
really matters.
Straight facts for sure. Great facts. But I need to say this for real, guys. Um, I I need to say thank you again, and I'm not just saying it. Like I truly, want to thank you for not only taking the time out to talk to me, but for actually, being interested in being here and for being honest with me and giving the fans a lot of advice, a lot of, experiences in the debut. I know there's a lot of new artists out there that are going through the similar experiences to you. So, you're being a huge inspiration to them and, thousands across the globe. So honestly, huge thank you for being in this industry for even being here. So major thank you, major props to you, and again, I'm super proud.
Oh, I appreciate it. And yeah, I never like really thought of myself in the beginning to be like the inspirational one, but it's just like just as long as you're doing or whatever like you like, then fuck it. Who cares? It's just all that matters is just like what you like doing. So, I just, like to just
Absolutely,
remind people
absolutely.
that, that
And I think that
that's
should
all that
be
it
that's
really is.
for me. That's a huge takeaway from our whole conversation. At least one of them, anyway. So yeah. But again, I just wanted to say a huge thank you, and of course to all the new listeners out there. Did you have anything that you want to say to all the newbies out there, to all the audiences, everyone listening?
If you fuck with my music, I appreciate you. Hit me up on Instagram if you ever trying to, get in contact or trying to work on anything. I'm
Awesome,
very, very
awesome.
active on
Well,
there. So,
oh god,
but yeah.
I'm gonna have to get some water later. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Dacheech's first ever podcast interview. I hope you all, excuse me. I hope you all enjoyed this as much as I have. Right after this, you all will get a chance to hear his debut single, Race. And you all know his socials. He is Dacheech everywhere. You can find him. You can also check out the links down below if you're like me and you're lazy and Googling, then. But anyway, I hope you all have enjoyed this, and hope you guys support him in this debut. It's really crucial we support musicians. So um, again, thank you all so much for watching and for tuning in. And again, I cannot wait for more music from you. And again, thank you for taking the time to do this. This is a huge honor for me. So this is crazy that I was your first one. So hopefully more will.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely, and
definitely
you're welcome
appreciate you
anytime.
for having me again.
So,
Definitely
and
fun.
goodbye to the audience for now. I will catch you all next time, and hope you all enjoy the rest of the season. And you know, hopefully we'll see Teach again when he releases more music and when he has more things coming. We'll have a sequel. So that's already in my planner book. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and y'all have a great rest of your night, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight as we dove into a wonderful podcast episode. Now, in this following segment, you will get a chance to hear this artist's showcase because every artist that comes on the show requires to do a showcase. So, buckle up, get some popcorn, and enjoy the showcase. I hope you guys love it, and check out the artist when you get a chance to. Hope you guys love it. Enjoy.
Oh, am I just the one? Okay, I'm feeling like I ran this race. I seen it all before today. I'm chasing just my dreams, but I don't know what I'm chasing for really nowadays. So lately, I've been thinking about some things that I can do. I just know I made a little wrongs, but baby, I will make them all right just for you. Oh, I've been trying to stay true to myself, and lately I ain't even staying true to myself. So please tell me what's coming up next. Oh, bitch, I don't even know. And I really fucking know that the shit is hard, but I love the chase. Oh, yes I do. Oh, I know right now you just aren't too amazed. And that's okay. I'm feeling like I ran this race. I seen it all before today. I'm chasing just my dreams, but I don't know what I'm chasing for really nowadays. So lately, I've been thinking about some things that I can do. I just know I made a little wrongs, but baby, I will make them all right just for you. Oh, so really let me try, one more fucking time. I swear to God, man, I've been done with them lies. And just behind a whole different story I could tell. So I could really leave if that's what you wanted. She told me wish me well, a ghost that were haunted. But I know this ain't really sitting well with me. And so I need to roll the dice. Oh, one more chance. Oh, let me get that right. Oh, in my hands. Oh, so I know that this might have to be just the last damn time. So fuck it, I've seen you in my dreams. Oh, one too many times. This ain't really how it's supposed to be.